Welcome to Remembering Smallville.
A Smallville rewatch podcast.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Brett.
Okay, so have you guys had anyone in your life that has shown up, made a positive impact, and then you've never seen again?
That's a great question.
I have one.
Okay, Kim, why don't you start? Because I'm thinking.
So I was a teen mom. My senior year, I found out I was pregnant, and I was so sick. And of course, terrified. So which would make my sickness worse. So I missed a lot of classes. I had this really staunch teacher who was the football coach, and he's like, you can't sleep in my class. You have to, he just expected a lot of us. And I had missed a couple weeks of his class because I had just found out I was pregnant. And I went to him to tell him what was going on. And he's like, Kim, where have you been? And I told him, and he was like, okay, if you just show up to my class for the rest of the year, this was in probably March, so a couple months left of school. If you just show up, I will pass you. And he's the reason I graduated. I would not have graduated without him. And I will never forget that. And he definitely changed my life and made my future a possibility. So
that's great.
Man, that's amazing. I don't think I've got anyone that's impacted me like that.
Yeah. I've been racking my brain and I can't think of anyone, and I think it's because I don't like people very much. I'm sure there are people, but no one sticks out in a great, profound way. Like, I had some mentors in college and my leadership program, but so what?
Hold on. Now I'm just curious. Leadership program, you were at UVSC, UVU, right?
UVU.
Hold on. What's leadership program?
CAL, the Center for Advancement of Leadership.
You've got to be kidding me.
Why?
I did that program.
Did you live at Ventana?
I did.
So did I.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you probably know some of the same people because
Probably.
I did it the year before you, and in theory they were going to have it for me when I got back from being
so
away for 2 years.
You did it 2007, 2008?
Yes.
And I was there 2008, 2009, 2010. I worked in the office with, what's his name?
Bruce. Yeah, I know Bruce.
And Denise.
And Denise, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were the first year of the program.
Yeah,
really,
I was the next 2 years.
That is so interesting. Yeah, that leadership program, I don't know that.
It's good.
And we had the mentors, right?
Yeah, we had mentors, and every Monday we had our mastermind class. We had to go sit and listen. And
Yeah.
that's how Brett met his two best friends.
yeah, well, that's
Sadly.
crazy.
Okay, sorry. I had to, it was like leadership program at UVU.
That was
what?
me. Yeah.
My problem is that, for the most part, I kind of hold on to people that have good influences on me. So, as far as the criteria of somebody having a good influence and then leaving is, I can't think of one, but I've thought of a lot of people that had bad influences and then are no longer in my life.
You just hold on to the good ones and get rid of the bad.
I try
love
really
it.
hard to hold on to the good ones just because that means a lot to me. I'm not very good at losing friends. Nicole doesn't really miss people. And when people kind of fade away, she doesn't really think about it. And she doesn't have any lethargic feelings about it. It tears me up inside to lose friendships like that. So I can't think of anyone in particular that has had a huge impact that I let go of. Yeah.
I would love to one time find that teacher and just be like, you saved my life.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Maybe one day I'll be that person.
My best
I'll
friend
just
in high
hop
school.
in, words of wisdom, and bounce out.
Yeah.
That sounds like my personality.
Yeah.
My best friend in high school totally changed me, but I still talk to him all the time. So
Oh.
it's
I
Yeah.
love that. Beautiful. Okay.
Okay. Well, Kim has a profound story for us today. Thank you.
Anytime.
Sorry we couldn't contribute.
No, that's incredible, babe. I think that ties in perfectly.
well, speaking of having profound people in our lives, we are talking about season 2, episode 8, Ryan.
Ryan. In this episode, Ryan comes back calling for Clark's help from a hospital where Clark has to test the limits of his power in order to save Ryan from an evil doctor who wants to control the boy's abilities. Elsewhere, Aunt Nell leaves Smallville, and Lex has a run-in with the mayor. Bum, bum, bum.
This episode
my gosh.
kills me. We talked about the first Ryan episode, and we had teased that one of the big reasons why that episode is so sad is because of the future, what happens with Ryan and what
Now
it
I know why you
concludes
cried.
with.
You see, because
Yeah.
like first time you meet him, it's sad, it's rough, he's being abused. But he like goes to this happy ending, and you're like, it's not that bad, Nicole. Calm down. It is that bad. It's horrifying.
And the happy ending doesn't last.
And he's so sweet.
I know.
At first, how did you feel, Kim, about his aunt letting him get into that situation when you first heard about it?
I was like, how dare you? I was so mad.
Yeah.
That is horrifying and so sad. And she just,
Abandons him.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Regardless of how she was duped into letting him go, she still abandons him. She doesn't.
Yeah.
She's living in Arizona
It
now.
freaked
Like,
her out that he was different. And that's what's sad.
I know.
And then the medical bills. In my perfect world, this is what would have happened instead of this garbage we have to now talk about. She would have contacted the Kents and said, Ryan has this, he read minds, and they would have said, we know, and we love him anyway. And she said, I have these bills, and I have these bills from these doctors' offices, and I don't know what to do. And they would said, bring him to us.
We will
And
care for him.
Ryan could have been a minor character for these however many episodes we watched, 12 episodes, 20 episodes, I don't even know how many episodes, not too many, not that many episodes, really half a season. Have him be a minor character who's in and out a few times, because he didn't have to be in every episode. And then all this stuff can happen. He can still have a tumor that suddenly hits. All this stuff can still happen, but he would have been in the picture this whole time. Can you imagine the difference? I mean, we would be puddles on the floor if that had happened.
yeah, it would have been
or he could
devastating.
live and be his little brother. And
I know.
I can't.
It is so sad. This actor who plays Ryan.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Do we know where he's at? Has he done anything else?
I don't know.
I've been too sad to look. I just have been in the moment of Smallville. I haven't done any exterior research.
Okay, listeners, do some research and comment.
Well, we start out in this lab with Ryan being experimented on, and it is horrible. And he's starting to get in pain, and the doctor's like, we're going to push through.
Pressure headaches.
That doctor and
Bloody
every
noses.
single person working with him that has any knowledge about Ryan is evil and
Absolute
should die.
monsters.
And should die.
Yes.
And the fact that his aunt just like gave custody, I would never do that. I'd be like, no, he can live here. You can do your research or whatever, your cure. But I still have custody. Screw you, doctor. I'm not giving doctor custody. Forget it.
But Ryan is smart enough to, again, he's getting better at using his powers to put people that are trying to control him against each other. And he
Yes.
tells the doctor that this
What's
other one,
OxyContin?
yeah, he's like, oh, he's stealing it. I knew it. The guy runs up after him, and meanwhile, Ryan escapes up into the vents.
Yes.
Then he escapes just enough to get to a phone and
I would-
call the Kents.
I was so scared they weren't going to answer.
I know, right?
Oh.
That would have been
So-
awful.
Clark's phone acting, not the best, but Ryan's side was so good. I'll go with it.
Ooh, I didn't notice.
He's like, Ryan? Like his face doesn't change a ton. Like it just didn't work for me. I would be way more concerned if someone called me screaming.
yeah.
One of the things that does really annoy me about this episode is that if I were Clark, I would have gone from that phone call running full speed to Chloe, said, help me find Summerholt, and I would be there that hour.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
I would
100%.
have torn through Summerholt to get
Speed
Ryan
run
out.
it. Nobody didn't even know you were in there.
That is
Yeah.
so true.
But he goes to school and, oh, well, we don't know where he is and what to do. It's like, what if Ryan was dying? You don't know.
Yeah, he could be dead by now. Here's what's sad. They catch him on the phone.
Yeah.
They inject him in the temple.
No.
I was
With a
like,
long needle.
That needle
thick.
was coming out for like 8 minutes.
It was horrible.
It was horrible.
I got like phantom pains in my whole body thinking about it.
Oh,
yeah.
And he's got like a tear and it's like, no, please don't do it. Oh, don't.
Yeah.
And he's getting nosebleeds from it all. And
And he's so brave the whole episode.
He is.
No.
Yeah.
After the intro, the first note I wrote was, this episode is too sad.
It's true.
But we do get to the Kent farm and they're discussing everything.
It's kind of a moot point at the beginning because like they can't find the aunt and it's a kind of a whole rigmarole of trying to find where Ryan is.
Because there's no Summerholt in Edge City where he said he was.
And it's in Metropolis they find out.
Or no, Hub City. Sorry, he was
Yeah.
in Hub City.
Yeah. Bless you, Chloe, for your connections. It's Metropolis. You're right.
Ryan thought he was in Hub City.
No. The doctor is.
So I thought this was cute. This has been how long between Ryan episodes? Do we know?
I'd have to count. A
few
season.
months.
Yeah.
You know?
But
They've
like
had
in
a whole
real
summer.
life.
Oh, probably
year?
a year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
did you notice that Ryan went through puberty
I
and his
Yeah.
voice dropped?
he
Uh-huh.
did.
Like,
I
oh,
know.
so cute. He's like a teen now instead of a little boy.
Just want to insert a nerd moment here. In Hub City, there's actually a superhero in the DC Comics called The Question. And The Question actually fights against corrupt government officials. So anytime they mention a different city in this series, just think to yourself, there's probably some other DC connection.
Well, what's Coast City?
LA, pretty much.
But what superheroes in that one? Because in our previous double feature, the grandpa lived in Coast City.
Right.
So since we're talking about it, if you have any data on Coast City, I'd love to know.
It's actually home of the Green Lantern, Hal Jordan.
Oh, so
Coast City is a Californian urban center.
That's an actual, like, very notable hero.
I know. Wow.
So, anyway, you've got Green Lantern from Coast City. That's the Hal Jordan Green Lantern. I should clarify.
Yeah.
There's multiple Green Lanterns. But yeah, Hub City, The Question is the name of the hero there.
Interesting.
What a name for a hero. I wonder why the Question wasn't there to help Ryan.
True.
So they can't find his aunt. They don't know where he is. They don't know what to do.
And Clark just has to go to freaking school.
Oh, I would lose my mind.
I'm like, oh, heck no. I have powers and speed and lightning eyes, fire eyes, whatever.
But he does approach Chloe, and Chloe does find where Summerhold is.
Yeah, because the Hungarian guy has some connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The toy scooter.
Toy scooter.
It's always something.
It's a classic Vespa.
Yeah.
Sounds like she'd gone on a date with this cat.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's been on that Vespa. Classic.
Jeez. Speaking of Vespas,
What, Daniel?
I couldn't think of anything to transition that.
Well, so next we're in the Lex Luthor mansion. And I just put, he's drinking his blue balls.
He loves
for
it.
Nicole.
And he's got his towel back on. We haven't
Yeah.
seen that in a while.
Yeah.
He must have just finished a fencing lesson with his fencing instructor.
And
Yeah.
the freaking mayor is there.
Sleazy,
And this
sleazy
is
mayor.
like the B plot of the story, where Lex is trying to build up LexCorp, and he's trying to get approvals for plans to build more buildings and stuff. And the mayor is like,
Scratch my back and I'll scratch yours.
which
Some quid pro quo
What a
garbage.
dirty whore mayor.
this is one of those things where we all kind of know our politicians do this, and we don't talk about it enough. I feel, but this, it's such a dirty politician.
It's not good. And the mayor essentially says, well, your father has been greasing my palm. Is that the term?
Yep.
Sure.
Your father has been greasing. Why is he this accent? Let me look at this guy's face and give him a better accent. Your father has been. Oh, maybe not.
Your father has been
Yeah.
greasing my palm.
There you go, Brett.
Why don't you grease it as well?
Ooh.
Sounds so gross.
Two greasy palms.
You know what they say about two greased palms?
What did they?
What do they say, Daniel?
I don't know. Just
Less friction, maybe.
I do love that Lex is
One
straight-
happy mayor.
Lex,
Two greased palms. What happened?
oh my gosh. New phrase. I do love that Lex calls him out on this. And
Oh, yeah.
He says, I'm not my father, and that's not how I do work.
Yep, Lex is a good boy. We appreciate him. If every businessman were like Lex, politicians wouldn't be able to do this crap.
If every businessman were like season 2 Lex.
And,
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
and Brett, tell me if I'm wrong. This mayor comes back one more time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right? Okay, yeah. I'm stoked. Which is one of my favorite episodes, actually.
Really?
I love it.
I'm
So
excited.
you'll see this mayor again, Kim.
Okay. Okay, our next scene
Is the
Lana.
C plot.
Right, yeah. Riding in on her horse to
Yep.
Nell.
Freaking Nell. Hunk holy.
Yeah, freaking Nell making adult decisions without consulting her teenage
you know
daughter.
what
How
Brett
dare she?
said? He goes, pause, you petulant child.
I know.
Brett was not okay with this. He was like, no, you pack up, you leave. Like, you're not an adult.
It's
you
true.
do what the adult
It's
says.
like Lana does have a cause to be like, I run a business
For sure.
here.
For sure.
I'm doing school, but it's not like she's a senior. She's got a bajillion years of school left, so move.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a sophomore, and also still a child, still a dependent.
Yes.
And if your family needs to move for some reason,
That you move.
you move. Don't
Not
get me
Daniel's
wrong.
family,
don't get
but
me wrong.
everyone else's
Yeah.
family.
No. And don't get me wrong. You can talk to
Yes,
your
you
children.
can
You can.
hear out their point of view, but ultimately, parent wins.
Yeah, always.
100%. So Lana needs to calm the freak down and get out of our lives. That's what Daniel thinks. I think she's fine to stay for now.
Nell
wish-
gets to calm the freak down
Yeah,
and get out.
we get less Nell.
It really does take them way too long to write off Lana. And yeah, Kristen Krug is great. She's a great actress. She's an excellent thing, but
Brett
they do
said
take
that
a
forever.
little too long to get her out. You'll notice later, you'll start to be like, all right, we need to move on here, you know? And Lana,
I can't wait.
Lana needs to move on from being mad at Clark.
Mm-hmm.
But like also Nell she wasn't the greatest about it either. She
I
didn't
agree.
give Lana any prep. Because if you know
Right.
your child, you prepare them for stuff like that. You don't just spring things on them. Yeah, you expect your child to go along with stuff, but you still prepare them.
Yes.
You know, if you guys had to move, you wouldn't tell them 2 days before.
By the
you're
way, we're moving. You'd
Yeah.
be like, listen, we're thinking of this. We're going to make a decision, but give us some input, and then we as adults will decide whether your input is valid or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, it's funny. Nicole was like, "Oh, Nell," you know,
Freaking Nell.
just because she hates Nell. It has nothing to do with what Nell's doing. Nell could just exist, and Nicole's
She's on
like,
the screen, and I'm unhappy. Luckily, we're not going to get much more of her. I think this might be it.
"Yeah, pretty much."
Is it? It might be.
Oh,
I can't
When
think
she
of any other
moves
time.
away.
You say that about other people and they come back, so we'll talk about that later.
Well, speaking of coming back, we come back to the Kent farm. Nicole, like this whole scene at the Kent farm, is shouting, "Just go now, go get him, go run to Summerholt, just do it now." It's just
I was like, it's been like 24 hours at least.
Yeah, since you figured this out.
Go
And
freaking get that kid.
so
Oh!
Clark does go to Summerholt.
He does.
well, because here's what happens. Jonathan, when they find out where Summerholt is, Clark tells his parents, and then Jonathan calls the police.
And the police sent someone, and they said they don't have patients there. He's not there.
And Clark's like, okay.
F that. I'm going. Yeah.
Yeah, so Clark gets there. He confronts the front desk associate there, and then the doctor even comes out. And I don't know how the doctor keeps a straight face now, telling Clark that there is no one by the name of
Because he's
Ryan
a
here.
terrible, he's terrible at hiding his true nature later.
Oh
When,
yes,
you know,
and he comes and sees Clark to his face, and later in this episode to say, "Give me Ryan back."
Yeah.
Right.
You lied to my face that he wasn't there.
this is a huge plot hole in this that really does bother me.
Yeah.
The cops came twice to
Yes.
look for Ryan. And then for him to say, "No, Ryan is mine,"
And
that
I'm the
should be a
guardian.
huge legal issue where you
Yes.
lied about where this kid was.
And you aren't supposed to be having test subjects in your lab.
That whole thing is super wild
It would
to
all
me.
fall apart.
yeah.
But because TV,
Because TV, we just let it slide.
Yeah.
but he rescues him. He like uses some really smart techniques to see the list of people, and he sees this restricted room, and he's like, "That would be it." And he's totally right. He
Ryan
runs
is
right
in
to
there,
it.
and Ryan is sedated, and he's like, Clark?
Yeah.
And he unhooks him from the wires, drop kicks an orderly,
Yeah.
across the room, and he gets Ryan the heck out of there. And it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Clark's unhooking Ryan from all of this equipment. An orderly comes in and says, "Hey, you're not supposed to be in here." I, at that point, would have said, "He's not supposed to be in here either," and then kicked him in the face.
Seriously.
I would have also included many colorful expletives in there. But did you see? I love Clark's face when he shoves the orderly. He looks really angry, and I love that. But we do take Ryan back to the mansion where Clark knows that he can, hide him.
Yep.
And Lex is so good to do this. He's like, he tells Clark, "You realize you've abducted a minor. That's a big deal. I'm not going to turn you in, and we're going to,
figure this out.
but just so
But
you
let me be
understand,
real
we
with
Have
just did
kidnap
this."
someone.
Yeah, it's a good Lex moment. It's a good for him to say that, because Clark has to understand that there are real world consequences to your actions when you do stuff like this.
And Ryan is just so sad and hurting in this chair with his hot chocolate and his blanket.
And yet he's
kills
just
me.
he's so relieved that he's with Clark again.
Yeah,
And he just explains what happened. My aunt got freaked out and the bills are piling up and she couldn't deal. And so the doctor lied to her and said that it was just like a place to rest and be, and they would take care of everything. But they lied, and
And sure, she was duped, but she still abandoned him.
Well, and you would go check on him. You would visit, make sure where
I'm just gonna
he's
move
at.
across the country to Arizona.
that makes
you
no
suck,
sense.
lady.
Yeah, she really sucks. Ugh.
That happy ending is really salty at the moment, isn't it?
It
I
is.
know.
Like, if you watch that first episode again, Kim, how would you feel about the lady taking him?
Because we were all so, like, all the three of us who've seen it and know this was coming.
Don't go with her.
I know.
We were just like, please
That's why
stay,
we're like,
please stay, please stay,
Just
please
stay with the Kents and you'll be okay.
We'll
Because we
talk.
find out later that it's likely the experiments that caused the tumor to grow, out
Grow
of
faster.
control.
Because ultimately his tumor was growing and he would have died.
Or they would
Or
have
not.
caught it years later when technology had maybe that doctor that they talk about who had been
Yeah.
working on shrinking, maybe he perfects it by then. And there's just so many things about it that what if, but it's not. And we hate them. We hate the writers for making us sad. But that's okay.
After the mansion, we go to the farm. There is the police and the evil doctor waiting, asking, "Where's Ryan?" And they're there to search everything, threatening.
They have a warrant.
They have a warrant, and they threaten
Luckily,
to
Ryan's
search.
not there.
Yes, and they threaten to search every inch of the property. Now, why would that be a concern beyond just Ryan?
Because the ship's there.
Yep.
Yeah, we're back to that problem again. So now it's not just search everywhere.
And so I don't think they end up searching. Clark just promises to deliver him in
Yeah.
the morning.
So they say, fine, by 9 a.m. or we're going to have trouble and all that fun stuff.
Love hollow threats.
So the next morning, Clark brings in Ryan to his parents, and he's so excited to see them.
Such
I
a sweet
know.
scene. Oh, he's so happy to be back on the farm and welcomed by his family. He thinks of them as
The
his
Kents
family.
have to do the right thing because they can't harbor him, not legally. It's a whole situation, and it's terrible.
I just want them to run away with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Clark, pick him up and run. Just freaking run.
Yeah.
But no.
But that's not the case. The doctor and the police show up, but Lex comes to the rescue.
That's what I
Bless
put in
you,
my
Lex.
notes.
That is literally here.
I wrote, bless you, Lex.
Lex to the rescue. So right before this, before we talk about Lex coming to the rescue, there's a quote I have from Kim, and it's my favorite because Ryan shows up to the farm, and she goes, this is her quote, "Now they're going to adopt Ryan, and Clark's going to have a brother, and everything's going to be fine. I hate this. Now they're going to adopt Ryan, and Clark's going to have a brother, and oh, no, I hate this." She just knew it was
Because I
gonna be bad.
knew
It couldn't.
it couldn't.
couldn't.
Yeah. I knew what was going to happen. Oh.
I have a random thought, not really connected to anything. Why are the Kents not deciding to just build a bunch of Halloween decor and UFO different things? So if anyone ever came, it's just another Halloween prop.
You're so effing smart.
Oh,
They should.
my
Like,
God.
we love Halloween and we love aliens, so we put little green guys everywhere
And we
we
built
have a
this ship.
spaceship. Have it on display. Let people come knock on the metal, and it's like a Halloween thing every
Or just
year.
down in your storage, like that's your Halloween
Right.
storage. Brett.
That's
So
I
brilliant.
love you so much more now.
Random thought.
That was so good.
Yes.
Very good.
Random thought. Just had to share. Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
There's a lot of things the Kents could do to be smarter about that. But Lex brings out a restraining order that allows the Kents to hold custody of Ryan while they investigate the entire situation of Summerholt and its shady practices.
Oh, so beautiful.
I'm so happy they get some time with him. So after they get their reprieve, thank goodness, Clark takes Ryan to a surprise party at the Talon. His jailbreak party, Chloe
Yeah.
calls it.
I loved it so much.
And
And he
Lana-
knew it was going to happen because he can read minds.
I know. And Lana gives him a kiss, and he's like, wow.
He's like, it was worth acting surprised for that kiss.
Yeah, I know. And he goes, yeah, I hate pistachio. Which I don't blame. Who likes pistachio flavored desserts?
I do.
Like what?
Ice cream?
Anything.
Oh.
Have you ever had
Ice cream,
pistachio ice cream?
baklava,
No. To me, that's not dessert.
cake,
Yeah.
anything pistachio.
Listen.
And
next
my
time-
kids too. Oh, Bentley. I don't know about
Yeah.
Brand.
Next time you go to Baskin Robbins, 31 flavors, get the pistachio ice cream.
Oh, is it good?
It really
so
is good.
Oh.
Have you been to the Old Spaghetti Factory?
Yeah, they have that in their ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In their spag. What is it called?
Spumoni.
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 Yeah, in their spumoni.
You don't hear about a pistachio cake very often.
No, and Ryan doesn't like it.
Yeah.
But he'll do anything for a kiss from Lana.
Yeah.
And they have a band playing at this party,
Awful.
Brett.
Awful. Awful. Terrible. Turn it off.
You did not like it, huh?
Hey, he's very enthusiastic with that microphone.
Yeah, and Chloe and Pete are silently super into it. Like, yeah, I love it. Bopping their heads.
Yeah, the band is called Von Ray. This is Inside Out by
Good
Von
for
Ray.
you, Von Ray. Get a new job. I guess this ties in with our last episode talking about music that we don't
Yeah,
like.
Nicole doesn't
Or
really
two-
listen to
two
music,
episodes ago.
so I do love this scene. It's so sad too because Ryan starts to show off the headaches, and
Hold on. Let's pause this. Nicole, if you had a jailbreak party, what kind of cake and what, instead of music, would you like a poetry reading?
Oh,
would you like a
No.
podcast? I don't know.
I think we'd do Pavlova.
Okay.
So good. I'm going to make that for you.
Are you even a cake person?
I like cake, but I don't know.
Pies?
Let's do Rice Krispie treats.
Okay.
That sounds
Ooh.
good. Light. It's hot outside. I know.
If you're Pavlova.
Yeah.
What would you have besides music?
Oh yeah. Besides music.
just silence. She wants
Like it
to
could be
replace it
music,
with
but
nothing.
like quiet classical piano would be great.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that. Okay.
That's
Beautiful.
my wife.
I'm boring.
That's not what we said at all.
Oh,
Ryan, as he reads minds, hears that Clark has told Pete, or Pete knows about Clark's secret, and he's
his first-
super stressed out
yeah.
about
His
it.
first reaction is worry for Clark because he's so protective of Clark as well.
He goes, yeah, well, Pete's all stressed out about it. He's worried that you're going to tell that he'll slip up. And
Yeah, which I
that's
thought
so
was so
worry.
sweet. Yeah.
he also reveals to Clark that Lana's moving.
Yes. And Clark's like,
Oh.
what?
And then poor Ryan gets a pressure headache, and he's like, oh, it's so loud in here, which it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, Edward had the same problem.
Oh no!
Oh,
I had to. I'm sorry.
Wait, what? When did he have headaches?
This episode's about to get really heavy, so give me this one.
Yeah, no kidding. So we get back to the barn, and Clark's thinking about what happened, what he learned from Ryan, and Lana shows up
Like she always does.
and tells him about the fact that she has to move, and Clark says, "I want you to stay."
I loved how bold he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he always needs to do, and he doesn't.
Because
Drives me
I
nuts.
feel like in these shows, it's always like, well, do what you want. Do what you think is best. I'll support you no matter what. And they go, well, what do you think? And they think, oh, whatever you want. Or they're
Yeah.
wishy-washy about it. Or they're like trying to play cool, so they say the opposite of what they want. Clark's like, you need to stay. Just stay.
Yeah.
And I loved that.
one of the few times we see Clark actually say what he wants.
I
know.
loved it.
Yay, selfish Clark.
I loved it. Be bold. So the next scene, Martha is taking Ryan to the mansion to look at some comic books while she's on her way to work for Lionel. And this broke me.
So as Martha is taking Ryan down the hallway to meet with Lex to go over some comic books, we learn something that just really broke Nicole. She started to sob right in that moment.
Ryan is talking to Martha about how much she loves her job because he can read her mind and he knows that she loves it. And she says, you know what? I'm thinking of not working anymore because I want to spend more time with you. And I was like, oh my gosh, whoa, Martha. Like
What a
this,
mom.
This whole thing and everything that she says to him in this scene is so good. So, for example,
So Lex and Ryan get to have some time together, and it's really great. Like Lex being big
my
brother to
gosh.
Ryan in a really good way, and Ryan is feeling the goodness in Lex, but he also still sees some of that darkness. And so when they're
Yes.
talking about how Warrior Angel literally is
Clark.
a type of Superman, and so he has this best friend that they grow up
Is
together, and they're best friends.
Divilicus.
And he turns into his greatest villain. And he's like, you should remember that story, Lex.
And guess what
Yeah.
he says? He says, the road to darkness is a journey, not a light switch.
Yeah, that's what Lex says to
I wrote
Ryan.
that down.
It's so good.
Kim even said, Lex, I love you so much in your bald head.
He has great quotes. He has great moments for sure.
so Lex is super duper rich. He's got 2 of every comic, one for looking at and one for reading.
Because
That way
one is
you-
a mint condition.
That you never, ever open or touch or take out of the packaging.
Yeah.
And they're looking at this comic. It's called A Hero Cries.
Oh.
And the hero has like this white mask and he's bald, and that's why Lex likes him. And sadly, Ryan gets another headache, and it's so bad that he like collapses and blood blood gets on the comic book, and then it transitions into Clark with the mask on the. Oh, this transition. Awful.
Oh my
Awful
gosh, I know.
transition. Absolutely horrible. I hated every second of it. It did help me stop crying from the Martha scene, but oh my gosh.
Yeah, because we transitioned to Clark watching over Ryan in the hospital because he's been brought there because that's a big deal. Collapsing over from a headache that causes you a bloody nose. Oof. So we get this funny thing again where we learn that Clark has a fear of flying. Like, of course he does.
I know. I was like,
Yes.
oh my gosh.
They stop later, but that's because partly he becomes more normal, like Superman stuff. So, but yeah, we do get that moment, but it's so hard because Ryan knows
What's wrong?
that he's going to die,
Oh,
but he doesn't tell Clark.
He says, he does. He says, I have a tumor and it's growing. The doctors already know there's nothing they can do, and he like cries.
Oh, that's right. That's the scene.
Ugh.
yeah. I didn't think it came yet either, but yeah, it's right here.
It's too sad because the way he delivers it.
Ugh.
Nicole's crying.
Not actively at the moment, but I was. I
Yeah.
literally cried the whole episode.
Oh,
I had we went on a walk after, and it looked like I had like lost a child or something. I was like,
you did, Ryan.
I know.
But we jump back over to the farm, and Clark is feeling desperate to find a way to save Ryan. And he's like, what good are all my powers if I can't save him?
Kate, this is the first time Clark cannot save someone.
true.
You can't save someone from sickness.
I know, but he sure tries.
Yeah.
He does all he can do.
Imagine you have all this power and that's all you do is save other people, and then you run into this problem.
On someone
that
you
would
care
be
about so
heartbreaking.
much,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, you did tell me, right, Daniel, that there's a comic book episode where Clark speed reads a textbook of medicine.
Yeah, there was a comic where Lois is like dying of something, and he speed reads a book of medicine, and it just so happens that he can perform a surgery with his laser vision and like fix the
Wow.
problem like that. But it's not a common thing. It's not like
Because he
could
couldn't
that
do it with
here.
Ryan. He wouldn't let that happen again.
Yeah.
And then we go back to the torch, and this is back to that C plot of Lana trying to figure out what the heck she's going to do about moving. She's been looking into
Emancipating herself.
which is like
Forget it.
hey.
For anyone that's been through that process, congrats to you. I'm sure it was well worth it. Most of the time it's
I'm
done.
sorry you had to do that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awful.
Typically,
Yeah.
it's in an abusive situation or a really hostile situation with family.
But this
Not
is just I don't
because
want to move.
I don't want to move to the city that's just over the hill.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh man, but Chloe has an idea that's going to save all of this trouble.
And they kind of leave it at that
Yeah,
for now.
it's like end cliffhanger. Okay.
Sort of.
And I kind of I was like, oh, I know what she's thinking.
Well, right. You can kind of tell. But we get back to the mansion.
I love this scene with Lex and Clark because
It is so good.
Clark is hoping that Lex can provide some of his financial wealth to get a doctor in, get some surgery, find the latest and greatest technology. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll go wherever I need to go. I need to make phone calls.
And Lex has found a doctor that has had this revolutionary technique that's still kind of experimental that is supposed to be able to shrink tumors.
Yeah.
But what the point of this whole scene is, Lex tells Clark, when my mom was sick, I made all the phone calls. I was calling the doctors. I was looking for, I mean, he wasn't that old, but like I was busy trying to cure her, but I should have just been with her.
Because he
I
wasn't
spent
there.
those last minutes trying to fight against it instead of just being with my mom.
and
And
so
I really
he
regret
missed
it.
watching her as she passed,
Yeah.
which is super sad. And Clark realizes that, but he thinks
not
he
ready.
can do it all.
He's not ready to let that be what he does. He still wants to fight and fight and fight.
Yeah.
Clark finds out that the doctor from Lex is heading to
Norway or Iceland or somewhere far away.
Out of town.
Helsinki. He's going to Helsinki,
Helsinki.
Norway. And
Finland.
by the time, is it Finland?
Yes.
Whatever. I don't know the Scandinavians. Nicole is Scandinavian, so that's why she knows.
That's why I know.
So Clark is like, I'm going to catch him before he freaking leaves. And he runs as fast as he can.
We get a really long running montage
And this is the longest he's probably ever run.
Or fastest, too.
I would say so.
I think
Yeah.
he's running as hard as he can.
Yeah.
He's running to Hub City.
Because when he gets there, he's huffing and puffing.
Oh, is he?
Ooh, I
Yeah.
didn't notice
I don't know if you
that.
noticed that, but he's like, he looks
Whoa.
physically tired when he gets
Ooh, I
there.
love that. Does that happen to Superman?
Yeah, of course. He can get tired. He can fatigue and all
It
that
just
stuff.
takes, 300 miles to do
Of
it.
constant running? Past slowly.
Well, there is a really great moment in season 9 or 10, I'm trying to think of, where Clark will run even faster, and it is incredible. It's a good one. Anyway, so he does get to the doctor, and there's this whole thing where like it's pretty intense, and he's showing off the X-rays, and luckily the doctor's a really good person and is very interested in this case.
He's just like Derek Shepard. If only that was Derek Shepard from Grey's Anatomy, I would have lost my effing mind. Like, the doctor comes out, looks at the scans. He's intrigued. Don't shoot this random kid who broke into the airport post-2001.
Yeah, that would have been an interesting time to bust into an airport.
And I guess the doctor, maybe Clark and him hop in that plane and
Yeah, I
fly
don't
to
know.
Smallville, since it's already
Because he
gassed
can't
and
carry
go.
the doctor on his back and run back.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm assuming they get in that plane and fly to Smallville. And Ryan has surgery.
I
And
hated this so bad.
we're kind of waiting to see if the surgery is successful. So Ryan's in surgery, and we get a quick little cut scene to Lex dealing with the dirty mayor.
Yeah, and he has this essentially a smear campaign video.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
And Lex basically has the one up. He's playing the mayor. And I love it.
Oh, I know her secret.
What?
She's running for mayor.
Oh. That's a good guess.
That's a
I
really good
remember
guess.
now.
We're not going to say anything.
I know.
So Lex plays the mayor. Of course, he has this historical analogy about World War II and Winston Churchill with the mayor.
Yeah.
Always.
It's just so funny.
Always an obscure reference.
That's just Lex for you. But I love that he's going after the mayor, and hopefully we get more on that plot a little later.
I feel like this show had to have educated Michael Rosenbaum on history.
Oh my gosh,
All
right?
the
No
different
kidding.
references.
Well, they're not making him read textbooks. They're saying, here's this one line, memorize it.
I know, but
He probably
like,
got
the amount of
interested and
things.
was like, let me look into this.
Yeah.
When we get back to the hospital, I noticed that Clark was drinking a cup of coffee, and I'm like, I guess even Superman needs caffeine.
It's hot chocolate.
It's the taste.
Clark Kent would never drink coffee.
Coffee.
But then we also find out Lana gets to live with Chloe.
Yes.
And so, like, yay, things are looking up. Brian got a surgery. Lana gets to stay. But then you cut to Martha, who's like, covers her mouth in a non-verbal way of saying it didn't work.
Yes.
The surgery did not work.
At least Lana made a joke about Clark's telescope.
Oh,
Where
no.
she's like, now you can point your telescope somewhere else for once.
I was like, whoa.
Oh, gosh.
She was like,
How-
give Ryan the telescope so he can peep on me.
Yeah.
How awkward is that?
And then, that had me dead. I was dead, I swear. And speaking,
What did?
Just that whole thing about Lana and the telescope.
Like, funny?
Yeah.
Is that what dead means?
Oh gosh.
I died. Yeah, I say that all the time.
Okay.
Like you say, I'm dead.
Yeah, but we're not talking. We're talking about death in okay.
This
Daniel,
episode's-
this is a death episode.
Well,
You can't do.
I was trying to say, speaking of death.
No.
So, this
The
scene.
surgery bought Ryan a couple of days.
Yeah, but it's still so sad. And, we've been getting this little tidbits from Ryan's favorite comic book for Warrior Angels where he has this
Air
floating
drum.
drum in the sky, and he's always wanted to go up there.
He's always wanted an air drum, and so Clark gets him an air drum.
Probably through Lex.
I loved it so. Oh yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I can't-
That's the only way you can
Well,
afford
of
it.
course.
But he takes him up there, and they're in the hot air balloon, and I lost it. I was sobbing at this point.
I'm borderline crying right now. He's like, oh, I can't. Someone else talk. I cannot.
He takes him up in this beautiful hot air balloon, just the two of them and the guy running the balloon.
And
And
he's so happy.
he's just
And it's quiet too, because that's another problem is when he's around other people, he's hearing everything, and
Yeah.
he gets to be up with Clark and just be above it all.
yeah. His
And he just
problems are
says,
down on Earth.
Thanks, Clark, for this moment.
I
perfect.
hate this episode.
Oh.
Like, and they just like hold each other
Yeah.
and it's quiet because Clark can't save him.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And you know that Clark can just be himself around Ryan too, you know? And so they're together, they know each other's secrets, and they're going to lose each other. Mm-hmm. Oh.
I'm watching you guys crying. It's making me.
Ugh.
So sad.
It's so sad. And I'm sad we didn't get like a more final with Ryan.
Yes.
You just-
Because after the hot air
Empty
balloon,
hospital bed.
it's just an empty hospital bed.
Oh, I know.
And in reality, I don't think Ryan would have died there.
They would have taken him to the farm and
Yeah.
I don't want to be angry or sad. You changed my life.
That's what Ryan tells Clark. Oh.
Stupid Smallville.
yeah.
Like, why couldn't you have given us like 5 episodes where he just like was with them?
That's what I'm saying. I think we would have been way worse though.
I know.
Could you imagine if we had gotten to know him? We've only known him for 1 episode before this, and I am a mess.
Yeah.
I can't imagine if he was in a bunch of episodes helping Martha make muffins,
Oh.
helping Jonathan. I can't. Okay, we're done. I can't.
She's laugh crying.
It's horrible.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. So, how about them?
Songs.
Sure. Let's.
Let's go over the songs and before we sob more.
All right, we have Nicole's personal favorite, Inside Out by Von Ray. We
F
mentioned
you
them.
guys.
I'm going to just defend them here. I actually really liked it. But Newsmakers by Dave Hewson and Angels or Devils from Dishwalla.
And this episode is a super episode.
If anyone disagrees, I will fight you.
She meant to say she will find you and kill you.
Oh,
Kim?
Super.
It's a super episode.
no doubt.
For a CW or WB show to make a 40-minute episode that can bring you to tears, like, that's incredible work. And it is big and important for Superman as well. Can't save everyone. It's incredible.
And
Bentley's saying she's done with this show because Ryan died.
It hats off majorly to the talent of the actor.
Mm-hmm.
What an incredible job. Super incredible deliveries.
Yes, 100% believable.
Yeah. You believe every single thing he says. Everything. Like, you're fully immersed.
This won't be the last time I cry,
No.
but it won't be for a bit.
there will be sad things, but we'll be okay.
It's not a lot like Ryan, I'll tell you that.
No, this I think is the saddest
Oh, for sure.
Smallville gets, in my opinion.
Well, on that sad shell, it's time to end.
Thank you for remembering Smallville with us. Join us next week when
Lana does algebra.
Clark uses a pager.
Just another damn episode.
If you're here, you probably like Smallville. So show Smallville some love and click that like button. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Remembering Smallville so that you can remember it and stop forgetting about all of these wonderful episodes in the beginning where Nell is the freaking worst and Lana is playing games with Clark's heart and Chloe never gets to have the thing that she loves most. See ya.
Four friends on a mission: Daniel, Nicole, Brad, and Kim. Talking Smallville every week. The podcast to gem. Smallville nights we laugh out loud. Every week they make us proud. Daniel, Nicole, Brad, and Kim. In the world we find our thrill. Heroes fly and legends grow. Stories shared, they make it flow. From Clark Kent to Lex's schemes, they uncover every dream. Smallville nights we laugh out loud. Every week they make us proud. Daniel, Nicole, Brad, and Kim. In the world we find our thrill. Keep watching tales of old. Their voices pure gold. Smallville nights we laugh out loud. Every week they make us proud. Daniel, Nicole, Brett, and Kim. In the world